I was looking at my job and I was saying, no matter what I do, I could either be fidgeting with my thumbs on my phone all day long, or I could be busting my butt, working super hard. No matter what I did, my paycheck's gonna be the same. With real estate, how hard you work or how smart you work, that will dictate how much you get paid, and that can kind of be exponential.
Welcome, everybody, to the Crosby Show Homes Podcast. My name is Garrett Crosby, investor turned real estate agent, and today I am joined by Dane Johnson.
Hello.
How's it going, Dane?
It's going great. Happy to be here.
Dane is a new real estate agent.
That's correct.
And I'm excited about this show today because we get to kind of tap into what it looks like to become a real estate agent. Everything from the process to the classes to that fun state exam and to, figuring out what brokerage to join, what team to join, kind of, the realities of what you face as an agent just starting out, And so I'm kind of, I'm excited about this because I think there's a lot of people who maybe have looked at real estate as a possible option for them, whether it's to supplement an already full-time job just with some more income, whether it's someone who usually stays at home with the kids and is just looking for some part-time work, or likely a lot of people who are just like, hey, I want to get out there and crush it, and I don't know how to do it or where to get started in this market. And so I'm excited about this. So thanks for being on today.
Yeah. I'm excited too.
Dane, let's start with this. Let's learn a little bit about you.
Sure.
Tell us why, first, what do you do professionally right now? And what was it that got you sort of interested in pursuing your real estate license to start with?
Okay. Yeah. So first, I currently work at a police department as a property officer. So that's a civilian position. So I'm not a police officer, but, essentially what a property officer is it's like if you arrested somebody, they have a bunch of items, they have evidentiary value, they book it in. I essentially deal with the chain of custody with those things. I wanted to be a police officer when I was in high school. Like I took Myers-Briggs, and I was like, boring. Like it gives you that like, what's good for your personality? Boring. Police officer. Like that sounds fun.
Wow.
Like that's action packed.
Myers-Briggs got a lot more insulting since the last time I took it.
If I feel like if I took it now, I'd probably like be reversed. I'd be like, oh, that looks awesome. Anyway, life goes on.
Yeah.
So I pursue police. At the end of 2019, I was like, I kind of did like a pros and cons list. It's like, I don't think this is for me. I'm looking around at these police officers who are like depressed, like divorced. They want nothing to do with people. And I was like, is this what you want for your life? Like, is this worth it? Like, I think there is people that it is worth it. Like, you feel like there's a calling on your life to like serve and protect. You have a justice feel.
Yeah.
I have a feeling like that I want to help people, but I don't think it needs to be in a police capacity.
It's interesting. Yeah.
And so that's my switch over. As far as like, why did I go to real estate in particular? I started reading books about like self-help, and self-help kind of switched over to investing books. Investing books switched over to business books. And I was like I was looking at my job and I was saying, no matter what I do, I could either be fidgeting with my thumbs on my phone all day long, or I could be busting my butt, working super hard. No matter what I did, my paycheck's gonna be the same. With real estate, how hard you work or how smart you work, you can that will dictate how much you get paid, and that can kind of be exponential if you can size it and all that kind of stuff. So that excited me. I'm super into investing. I'm super into like people, and who doesn't like seeing like a home that's for sale. Like that's super fun. So,
well, it's interesting that like you already had that mindset of wanting to help people, and like that was already sort of on your heart and that's what sort of initiated, police, you
Yeah.
know. But then you realize, like, wow, there's actually these other industries that are out there, real estate definitely being one of them, where you can help people.
Yeah.
And arguably with one of the most difficult, strenuous, stressful, financially taxing, decisions that 99% of people are going to make, which is whether to buy or sell homes.
Yeah.
So you have this interest, things are going great, police officer, you're like, all right, maybe not, I'm going to try real estate, start, researching it. Where did you land in terms of like where you wanted to like pursue like an education for real estate? Like, for example, for the viewers who are watching this, what steps do they have to take to pursue a license? Is it something that takes years and years to do? Is it expensive? Like,
Sure.
what does it look like?
Yeah. So there's a little bit of like qualifications. You have to be 18. You can start pursuing it whenever. But as far as like getting your actual license, you have to be 18. So there's also like, you can't, as far as like the law side goes, you can't have any serious felonies. You can't have any sex offenses. And then an interesting one, like you can't have any fraudulent activity as far as brokerages go. So like if you stole from a brokerage or anything like that, that kind of thing. If your checks out all those, you kind of start looking for classes or college grade classes, 45 hours per. There's 3 of them. I don't know if you want to talk about brands, like as far as.
Well, that's
so fine. I took 2.
Okay.
I first started out with Aceable, I think it was called.
Okay.
That one was. I really do think it's important to know. It's an online class. It's important to know like what you're getting into. I just was like, okay, this one looked like it had good reviews. Essentially, it just slapped on the whole book. Like, here you go, take the exam at the end of this course.
Yeah.
Me as like, I'm dyslexic. Like I struggle with those kinds of things, and so I was like, this is not good. So I bought another one. I bought Real Estate Express.
Yep.
Is that what?
That's the one I took.
Okay, yeah. Super great. Like it I think, I mean, you're still reading, you're still having to read a ton, but it breaks it down through pages, and then it quizzes you at the end, and you go, oh, I'm not good at this. You can go back, you can read it.
Yeah.
Whereas the other one, it was like,
yeah. What's interesting, Real Estate Express. I recommend everybody who's trying to get into real estate to take it. It's like across all 50 states. I think it's for. It recently got bought out too, but if you go to like realestateexpress.com, it'll be just the other company that bought it out, but it all functions the same. Sure. Like, instead of being in purple, now it's in green. Kind of thing.
Yeah, it was same course. Yeah.
But what I really like about Real Estate Express is number one, like, so you need these 3 certificates, right? For these 3 classes, they're 45-hour classes. But what's really nice with Real Estate Express is you can, like, as long as they give you like a time frame, like basically you can't finish, quote unquote, a class or like get your certificates. It's something like within a 6-week span. Like, you have to be at least in the classes for 6 weeks before you can take the finals to get your certificates. Yeah. But what's really great about it is that, like you said, they have quizzes at the end of each chapter. But like, for those of you who like are really trying to get through as quickly as possible, I'm not saying that access to the quiz answers is very accessible to anybody.
Yeah.
But there are ways for you to be able to get through these quizzes quicker.
Yeah.
So that way you can get to what matters, which in my opinion is the state exam.
Yeah.
Like, literally, you want to get through your classes as fast as possible if you're looking to expedite getting your license.
Yeah.
Because I think for those of us who are people who are, protagonists, or not protagonists, oh my gosh, what's the word? We push things off into the last minute.
Oh, procrastination.
Procrastinator, yes. Protagonists. Wow, brilliant. Procrastinators.
The enemy of productivity.
Yes. Right. Thank you for spinning that. But procrastinators, any of these online, courses are a lot of times dangerous because you just think, oh, well, I'll just like push it off.
Yeah.
But like the advice I give people who are really doing it is just like do it while you're watching Netflix, right? Like just do it at home while you're doing something you enjoy. I remember I went on vacation once and I was taking these classes and I was just like skimming through it, trying to knock out my quizzes as fast as I can in like free moments while I was like looking at the ocean, you know, or like from my balcony in a hotel, because, you know, you can actually get your license in like within 6 months.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
Like you can knock out your classes. And the thing is, do you remember how much you paid for Real Estate Express? Or
I don't know. It wasn't crazy.
No.
It may be 200.
Not even.
Yeah.
It's like you can get the basic classes for like, I've seen specials that they do for like $90.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
So you get it
wasn't like crazy out of pocket for sure.
So $90, you have your classes, you get your 3 certificates. Then what's next? Do you remember?
Yeah, then once you pass all those, you apply for the state exam. I took a while to do that. I passed my courses, and I'm just, again, I like struggle with tests and all that stuff. So
you're the protagonist, as you know, who hates doing things
exactly,
you know, and procrastinating.
Yeah. Right. So I've got some good advice for you. So you apply for that. It gives you like a month. So you really do have a lot of time for when they go, hey, like now you can schedule your time to take it. But this is the big, I would 100% recommend Prep Agent.
Yeah.
Prep Agent for their tests, their like practice tests that you can take.
Yep.
I took it every single day, like took 25 questions. And then I would just see all the ones that I got wrong and just learn.
Yeah.
And just do that over and over and over again.
I think I've recommended prepagent.com to probably 4 or 5.
Yeah. Even my small amount, I've already recommended to like 2 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And every person I've recommended it to has passed the first time.
Yeah.
Including myself.
Yeah. I passed too.
Passed the first time. And it isn't easy. Like there is really, like a science behind like what you have to know. Like the 2 things I would tell every new agent trying to get their license to do is, number 1, memorize, put on flashcards, whatever, all the terminology.
Yeah.
All the definitions. And Prep Agent does this for you. They have all the terms. Like,
I was about to say, I did that too as well.
You know, but like really memorizing those, and then the Prep Agent exams, like just taking them regularly, nonstop, around the clock. Yeah. Like you will be 100% ready just with that tool.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, you know, what the state exam tries to do is they're trying to trip you up on terminology. So that's why it's really important to just know thoroughly what your definitions are, so that you can answer your questions and skip those.
For sure. And you could do it
like
5 questions here. Oh, I've got some time. Like I'm just hanging out. Do 10 questions here. Like it really wasn't that hard. I finished like an hour early. Nobody else next to me was done. And I was like, did I just rush this? And I was like, no, I've been taking just tests after tests over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm good.
And I want to be also clear too for the audience. Like we're not sponsored by any of these people. No. Like Prep Agent does not sponsor us, but we're grateful for it. Just like Real Estate Express or whatever company it is now, same thing. But you know, these are the tools we used, and that kind of expedited us, you know, to get our license. So take your state test. After that, what for you? How long did it take you? And I know I mentioned you could do it within 6 months. I also know people like. So for me, I think I got it actually in 4 months. So I started my courses the first week of July, you know, a year or so ago, or a little while back.
Yeah.
But within that November, like, so July to November, I don't know, you could do the math on how many months that is, but that's how long it took me from start to finish to get my license. Yeah. For you, what did you feel?
I think it was, timeline? So I would have to preference that I'm like probably the bottom of the barrel as far as like how speedy I am with getting to understand like vocab and like this wheelhouse of all that stuff is probably my like a big weakness of mine. So preference that in your like thought process. It probably took me like around a year to 8 months.
Yeah.
But that's also doing a full-time job, also like getting married. Like I was really busy as well.
Yeah.
Don't want to do excuses, but
Well, but I mean, again, it just goes to show, though, that this is not like one of those, degrees or licenses that will take years
No,
for you to
it will
do
not.
and be extremely expensive,
No.
to achieve.
No.
You can really, this is feasible for people to do within that 6 months.
absolutely.
Fairly easily. So, all right. So you, one thing I did want to give as a tip for new people who are pursuing their license too is, so that part of the journey where you finish your classes, you get your 3 certificates and you submit them to the state.
Yeah.
I always tell new agents who are upcoming that once you submit to the state, that is when you should start studying. Because what happens is that the state's going to take about 6 weeks to get back to you with your what's called an e-license to take the exam. And of course, we're talking about California, just to be clear for all the viewers out there. So it is different
Might be
state
quicker
to state.
or
But in California, it's going to take about 6 weeks. So if you submit everything and then immediately start taking your prep agent and studying for the exam, what's amazing is that often you will receive your e-license to be able to go online and schedule your exam. And I didn't realize this when I was first trying to get my license too. So I screwed up. I didn't study at all until I got my e-license and was available to actually set up my test date. Mm-hmm. But you actually could sign up for a exam date that was even as close as the next day if you wanted.
Yeah.
They give you 4 or 5 different locations within California. Closest to us in LA is kind of right off the 5 freeway, just going south, just outside of downtown Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But I could have literally signed up the next day to take my exam, and I didn't because obviously I hadn't studied yet. So I waited 4 more weeks, but I was just pounding the studying, trying to get it done. So if you study the moment you submit for taking the exam, you're gonna knock out 2 to 3, 4 weeks of studying you would have done after that 6-week waiting period of getting your actual license.
And I think once you do they do get back to you, I think you do have a month exactly to hey, I want to schedule it 3 weeks in advance, or but you can't do it 2 months. I think it's only 30
They only
days.
release a certain amount of dates, and you have to keep waiting.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get your license. It's exciting.
Woo.
Let's talk about sort of the resting question here that I think is going to be very popular in this video of how to figure out which brokerage. We'll start with that to join. We can get onto the team thing next.
Sure.
But which brokerage to join? Maybe you can share your experience of trying to figure out which brokerage to join. I will share my experience and what led me to where I am now. I'll hold that answer until the end of my question for you. But how about you tell us in terms of when you were, okay, got it, license in hand.
Yeah.
Let's figure this out. Walk us through what your decision-making process was in this. Because I know you probably already knew at that point which brokerage you were going to join.
Yeah.
But maybe up until a certain point in time, you were really trying to figure out which one to be a part of.
Yeah. I think, so even before I had my license, I think I was shopping around, and I wasn't really going to the actual, website or whatever they were trying to provide. I was going to the people that worked there. And seeing what their experience was, and seeing what they do for new agents. And so it was okay. Oh, that's great. But I think even you, Garrett, approaching me and being hey, I'm going to invest in you. And this is why this is why X, Y, and Z, why I went with EXP, really sold me. And as far as you, I think there was other agents that were yeah, I'll help you out if you want, to call me or whatever. But as far as how you approached me was no, we're a team, we're gonna get together, this is gonna be you and me. And so I was okay, there's this person that actually wants to invest in me. Is it worth even if I think EXP's commission rate is really good, but is it worth even getting a better commission over here if nobody around me is gonna invest in me? Yeah, they'll be there for a phone call, but having a partner to be hey, how are you doing? Are you calling?
Yeah.
Being accountable for me.
Yeah. That's
so
huge.
As much as it's not really a analytical answer. I think on a more like it's a more personal like I think is the best route to go.
Yeah. Well, I think, it's funny because I certainly can give you the more analytical one just because for me specifically when I was getting started, like a lot of those elements, of course, did make sense to me. Like it mattered, so as a real estate agent, if you're new, obviously you're getting paid through commissions on homes that you're buying, homes that you're selling. And so your brokerage is certainly going to play a role in sort of what's called a commission split. And so I knew that I wanted to be, there was a few things I knew right out of the gate from getting my license. Number one, I wanted to make sure I was part of a brokerage that was going to provide really good training, because the reality is that when you get started in this field and you get your license, you don't just suddenly the next day like get an email from like
here's your client that you're going to sell a home to,
real estate company USA, saying great, welcome to the team. Here's like what you need to do next. No one helps you.
I'm your boss.
None of that happens ever. And so you're really starting your own business. Which is really exciting for people like me. Like I have a very entrepreneurial spirit. You do too. I love the idea of creating something and crafting something that's mine. But in the same sense, that's scary, and it comes with risk, and it comes with no guarantees, and it comes with, a lot of failure. And there's a reason why, I think it's a crazy number. I don't know the exact statistic, but I want to say like 80% of real estate agents either quit the profession or leave the profession within like 1 to 2 years. Something like that. And internet, please be nice. I don't know the exact statistic, but it's something high. So I knew I needed to be a part of a brokerage that was going to provide excellent training. I needed to be a part of a brokerage that had a commission split or something along those lines where I was going to still be able to pocket the most that made sense, but in tandem for like in sort of the resources of training being there to make sense. Right? Like, keeping 100% of my commission is fantastic. I love that. But like, if no one's going to ever show you what to do in this profession and you're just on your own, it's gonna be really tough, at least like getting started. Because I want to be clear, like I have nothing against any other brokerages. I shopped around. I looked at Keller Williams. I looked at Remax. I looked at Olson. I looked at Fathom. I looked at a bunch of different options that were there, and all of them have amazing resources and traits, and even office spaces, brick and mortar, that provide great resources for their agents. But the reality is that for me, I knew that I didn't need an office space, at least to start. I knew that I wanted to meet clients at their properties or when I was showing homes. So I didn't want to like spend money out of my commission splits to pay for a building. I just didn't feel like that made sense. I also knew that I really did not want to pay larger commission splits for the sake of just having brand recognition to the name necessarily, so paying more just to be with Keller Williams or paying more just to be with Remax or, I didn't feel like that made sense to me. And I knew that I wanted training. I wanted really good hands-on training. And so what I ended up doing was I ended up partnering with a really great agent who didn't even live in California. Like, this is how awesome I have found EXP to be personally. And again, I'm not trying to sell anyone on it other than just like my own experience. But I was able to build such a good relationship with this agent who is crushing it in North Carolina, who's a friend of a friend. I connected with them via investing in real estate and basically got some of the tools immediately to like figure out how to like start building brand name, building a team, building a sphere. He started investing in me to provide different types of leads. And then all of that coupled with sort of the benefits of a big brokerage where you get, a very expensive, what's called a CRM, but essentially, a Salesforce-y, type of website and database, and all of that came for free because of the benefits of being with a bigger brokerage with sort of the almost small brokerage feel of like very hands-on training, is what led me to connect and realize like, hey, EXP is it makes the most sense. So I mean, for new agents coming on board, I really think it's a great option. You know, and so since then, of course, like we've built out now this California team where, you know, I'm an educator at heart. I come from a background of education, and because real estate, you know, because real estate agents don't get sort of the roadmap of, you know, here's how you do
step
it.
Step 1 to step 2 to
I was committed to like, okay, well, I want to provide that.
Yeah.
I want to build a team in California that gives you like day one with your license, you have something you can turn to that is specific to your market, to how to, like what you should do day one, that isn't overbearing, that isn't, you know, so stressful. It's just like, hey, these are the practical steps, day one, day two. And so I created like a 30-day agent success plan, and then other resources and referral, you know, partners for inspectors and lenders. And like, because if you just start out in this field, you don't know anything.
Yeah. It's an abyss. There's like, you can really go so many different directions on like lead generation. Am I going to do commercial versus residential? Am I going to do like, am I going to do like luxury homes? Am I going to do like am I going to be in a particular community, or am I going to be willing to go super far? Am I going to do branding? Am I going to do website? Like there's so many choices.
Well, there's so many opportunities to drown day one.
Yeah.
Like you just don't know where to begin.
Yeah.
And it is overwhelming. And you know, and then what I've found is that a lot of agents, especially who are just starting out, they get focused on the wrong thing. So like because they're so scared to turn on a lead generating source, or like get phone calls from random people, or like, you know, realtor.com leads, or they're scared to start door knocking, or they're scared to cold call, and they're willing to do everything else to start instead of what's actually going to create their business. And so, you know, I realized that, okay, well, what if there was a way to create a team where, you know, you're getting that accountability, you know, you're getting these steps, but you also have that sort of luxury of having an experienced agent to walk with you side by side to help you write your first offer, help you with your first couple phone calls, help you with your first couple door knocking experiences, how to brand yourself, how to do social media, how to, you know, create, like build the right campaigns with your CRM. I mean, the list is endless, but like being able to create that, but while also doing something else that's really critical too, which is do it in a way and within a team atmosphere where you're not getting completely gutted on your commissions for that trade-off. Yeah. Because a lot of brokerages will force you to have a mentor, which isn't a bad thing per se for your first 3 transactions. Even EXP does that, you know. But if you're a part of what we call a mega icon team, which is what we are here in California, you can actually avoid that step by just being teamed up on a similar team that is considered this, you know, level. And then that allows you as a team member to keep what would have been close to 40% additional of your commission taken out from EXP split or any other brokerages split for that kind of mentorship, which also has a mentor that is a huge variable. Like you could get paired up with a mentor who doesn't actually care about you because, you know, your success doesn't really, I mean, besides, they'd love to make that commission split. Like they might be crushing it so much where really like what's 40% off your, you know, 1-bedroom condo going to do for them? Yeah. You know, so it's just like one of those extra nice things that we can sort of have, which is much more intentional mentorship. Yeah. So that agents don't get lost in the a hill abyss that you don't need to climb, that typical other brokerages you do have to climb. I kind of would love to hear just from you and your experience because, you know, so you joined our team, been on for just a little bit now. It's been maybe a couple months, right? Like maybe a month. Maybe a month. Yeah. what can you like in terms of like your genuinely like your experience? You don't have to try to make me happy here. This is also a time where you could be the whistleblower. You know, it all comes out.
Garrett's a fraud. Okay.
Now you know. Don't tell anybody about it. But it's just been the whole internet.
I've seen some. There's proof.
Wow, this is turning into a Joe Rogan
There
podcast very quickly.
Exposed.
What has your experience been being on the team and seeing sort of what has been able to be provided for you? What do you think would have been different had you gone out just as a single agent on your own,
versus like the team versus
I'd love to just kind of hear from you, because I don't think I've ever asked you this question before.
Yeah, I think the difference would be completely doing it on my own. Like, I don't think I would really have known about realtor.com. Like, I wouldn't have known that, like, oh, there's these places that you can go that are lead generating. So there's just like these little tips and tricks that it would take a while for you to find while you're struggling through all this stuff. And just for somebody to who has had a couple transactions under their belt and just be like, no, you can do this. Like, I think there's a lot of hesitancy when you're upfront with a lead and you're going like, I want to help this person, but I don't have the experience. So I'm juggling this. Like, I want to help you, but I haven't got a transaction under my belt. Like, how am I going to get dirty? Like, how am I going to really start going through the whole process of helping people buy and sell homes? And like, with being on this team, being with you, like, just come to a showing with me and going, okay, so like, Garrett does this. Garrett, starts it out with this, and like he explains and like just those little details,
the nuances.
Your step by steps. Maybe I'm going to do it a little different, but now at least I have like your day to day,
like the playbook essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like, that was definitely something I wish I had a little bit more of when I was just starting out too. But the beauty too has been that I had to sort of create that. And one of the things I'm the most grateful that I actually did was, as I was creating these resources, I was remembering when I was creating them that the long-term goal was for moments like this, for when I couldn't remember what it was like to be brand new, that I would be able to tap back into it, because now I've got these resources that I could provide the team, to be able to have so that they can find success. Because it is an abyss to just get started and build your sphere and, start getting those referrals and, little steps, like announcing it to your friends and announcing it to your family without being that annoying guy, but it is definitely like a process of getting on board and doing those things. And you've crushed it too. Like, you've now like have actually started doing this for real. You've got, a client you've been helping. We've got
a story for you.
We've got to tell the story.
We will. Whenever you want.
Yeah, it's coming in. How's your finger doing, by the way?
It's healing up.
That's good.
I mean, I don't think the weather has helped. Yeah. Because it's so dry outside, and so I like rubbed my knuckles raw. Yeah. So, do you want me to explain it now, or?
Yeah, so go ahead.
Sure.
Yeah, share the story.
So every house has a lockbox with the keys. I was helping Garrett with a showing. It was this last Saturday. I got there a little early. Garrett was having some trouble with like the wind and like branches. That's another story.
Yeah.
So I'm there early. So I'm like, okay, let me just like prep the house, like turn on the lights, make sure everything's good. I undo the lockbox and the key drops. It's a manufactured home. So like, there's like a gap between the stairs and the home. And I pull it out.
And the gap is how big, by the way?
It's probably like maybe 1.5 inches.
Yeah.
And I pull it out and the key drops in the crack of the stairs, which is like pretty high.
Yeah.
And the house.
What were you
I was like, of course.
Yeah, of course.
I will remember this forever.
And the client was
there. They were already there.
Oh, of course.
They were just waiting in the car for you, showing up any minute.
Yep.
So I'm frantic. So I run to my car. I'm like, what do I have that can grab this key? It didn't have any it was just the key. So I luckily found like a coat hanger. Mm-hmm. I undo the coat hanger. I'm like stretching it out. And so I'm just fishing.
Yeah.
I'm fishing for this key for like maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Just praying.
Yeah.
Like, please,
God. The best part is
help me.
Dane calls me like, because I called him saying I'm running late.
Yeah.
Right. Like, hey, like
oh, it's so
a
bad
tree
for you
knocked
over,
over a power line. And the traffic's horrible. I'm so sorry. Like, but don't worry. The client is there, and I told them that you're there too, so you can just go ahead and help them.
They'll be there any minute.
And Dane's like, yeah, about that. Like, there might be like a slight delay. And you were playing it so cool. I frankly, like, I would have been panicking. Like, crazy.
I was panicking. There was some panic. I feel like I just wanted to play it cool.
You played it so cool.
Okay, good.
Because like. He's like, telling me about how the key is now basically under this, half a centimeter crack in a manufactured home staircase.
Yeah.
And I know what that is like.
Yeah,
and I get to the house, I pull up, and you're literally like dressed to the nines. You had your tie on.
Yeah.
And your white collared shirt.
Yeah.
You look so good.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
He's on there like fishing.
Yeah.
With that.
So like, okay, so then I fished for like maybe 15 minutes probably. Yeah. And you guys were standing there for like what, maybe 30 seconds, a minute?
Yeah.
And I finally was able to get it out.
Yes.
It was like, oh my gosh. So you don't have to call the agent to.
But
like,
in the process of doing this, there was a casualty.
Yeah, my finger.
Yeah.
I was like rubbing. Here, I got it. Rubbing my like hand up against the house
and wood and splinters and Guys, let this be just
blood, sweat, and tears here.
Dane is willing to put blood, sweat, and tears into getting you your next home.
I want to help you.
Come on. That's just that. If there was it's proof now. Like, you got to use this guy. He's the man. I love it, dude. I love it. So for new agents who are coming on board, that are trying to figure out which brokerage to be a part of, if this is you, right? If this is something that you can identify with, if you feel like you were Dane, on this journey trying to figure out, okay, what should you do next? And, you're looking for something that's new but at the same time, like, has some form of, just guidance, like a roadmap to success. Mm-hmm. Feel free to reach out to us. Like, we'd be happy to at least give you like some of the information, and we have nothing to hide. It's completely transparent. And if you're considering a bunch of brokerages, I mean, we're happy to have that conversation and tell you why, give you more specifics as to why we landed to where we are. But we'd love to, like, anyone who's coming into this field. I absolutely love it. I know you do too. But the educator in me, like, I really do love helping people find success in this, and that goes for any part of literally the United States. Like, if you're looking for help, I'd love to help plug you in and get you started. So Dane, thank you for being on today. We've got one rapid fire question for you. You have to answer without like thinking that much about it.
Okay.
I feel like this is a very easy one, so maybe you'll get two, but there is one right answer. So
it's not my opinion. It's like it's a quiz.
Yeah, like, I guess technically you could look at this being an opinion, but like, it shouldn't be. Like, it should be fact.
Okay.
Cats or dogs?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. It's dogs for me.
100. Well, no, it 100% is dogs. Our videographer is here laughing. Do you not agree with this statement?
To me, it's dogs.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
All right. He said, okay, so Sean says dogs.
I'm not against cats. I wouldn't go out of my way to get one, though, if that makes sense. Like, I found one and I, like, rescued one, but I wouldn't. Some of them are cool.
Some of them
are cool. Like, my cat that I have is cool, but I'd rather have a dog. I'd say dogs.
Yeah. Okay. That's the right answer.
Yeah.
And I got to be careful too, because I'm sure there are some clients in the future who love cats more than anything in the world.
I like cats.
Maybe I've already worked with one. I know I have actually worked with one who does. Your cats are cute. All right. Your cats are cute, but
we're calling out somebody.
Yeah. Specific. It kind of happened by just organically.
Your cats are cute.
But I'm saying your cats are cute, but that everyone in this room is a dog fan.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
unanimous.
This guy has two cats.
Uh-oh.
But he has very cute cats.
The other videographer is here. Has two cats.
The protagonist.
protagonist.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. Well, hey, I hope you guys like the content today. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have any questions about, becoming a real estate agent, if you have any questions at all about like the process, what it looks like to be, an agent in the future, doing it part-time, definitely you can do this work part-time for sure. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great way to supplement your income if you want, but you might find yourself finding that you love it more and more and then end up just doing it full time like some of us are choosing to do here. So if you have any questions about it, reach out, let us know, leave a comment, like and subscribe. Other than that, I'll leave Dane's Instagram information in the description. Dane, do you have anything you want to plug for yourself?
See, this is the process that we have to do. I've got a website, but it's not like up and running.
Yeah.
So I would say maybe if you want to email me.
Yeah.
Email Garrett and say, hey, I want Dane as my
write Dane a letter.
There you go.
Handwritten letter.
Yeah.
Owl. Yeah,
Pigeon.
Send it by owl.
Pigeon message.
That's right. We're still working on getting him into the 21st century, and we'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
What Instagram can people find you at?
Dane, DAYNE .Johnson.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'll leave that in the description. Other than that, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.